Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Cachet, and you are watching Shit with the Hobbies. Y'all like my little puppy blanket? It's got little puppy paw prints. This one's for me. It's not for the dogs. They don't get this one. This one's mine. Yeah. And then I got a little hedgehog because I told my friend I want a hedgehog, but won't nobody give me a hedgehog. And she's like, "I get you a hedgehog," and she put it on the shirt. And I was like, "Thank you, friend." So I'm proud of my hedgehog shirt. If y'all didn't know, hey. Guess who that was? Hi! It is the last day of Black History Month and the last day of the Missy Elliott Readathon. Y'all, year two has been interesting. Now, while life has been like, hey, you trying to bob and weave left and right all month, I will say I am glad that I picked the group reads that I picked because with the help of my co-host, at least I know one of them had us laughing, and I know the other one, it tested our limits. And I feel like those were two very important things for the theme of this year. And I say that we succeeded in that. So before we get deep into the conversation and saying hello to everybody, I'll let my lovely co-host introduce themselves.
Don't everybody talk at the same time.
Yo,
Don't everybody talk
none
at
of
the
y'all trying to
same
jump on
time.
board. That's crazy.
Okay, I go first since I got my camera off. Until now. Hi, I'm Deidre. My channel is Shade Drew. This is my first time participating as a co-host in the Missy Elliott Readathon, and I'm very happy to be here. I'm very happy to be here. I'm excited to talk about the books, the group books, or everything. So.
Hi, I'm Britt. My channel is Britt Writerly. It's a book and author tube where I talk about the intersection of literature and culture. Year two of Missy Elliott Readathon. And we made it. And we made it. Thank y'all so much who have been participating and tagging us and stuff. But yeah, that's me. If you don't know, now you know. I could do the whole thing, but I don't want to. Oh, this is interesting. All of the comments are showing up in all of our individual boxes. Unity. Oh no. Oh, you changed our. It's not a comment. You changed our thing to
I
do.
gave the little headlines. I was like,
I see.
Deidre did this the other day. Let me just go in and
How cute. I have a
So the ones that
subtitle.
Deidre had were in there, and then I added y'all too real quick. Isn't that cute, y'all?
Look at that. UNITY is unity.
Ain't it? I love it. I love
We
it.
go together
I love
real bad.
it. I love it for us. Okay, let's say hi to everybody.
Yes, go ahead, Dave.
That says I is laughing from before. We love it.
You forgot about Dave.
Oh, my bad, Dave. I'm sorry.
Awful.
You know
See,
what?
I had your back though.
No. Here's what happened. I got distracted with being excited about the headlines, and then I was like, "Yo, it's a lot of people in the chat commenting." So I apologize. I love you. Go ahead. I'm gonna be just.
Thank you. No, come back. Hello, everybody. My name is Day. My YouTube channel is Hey It's Day, where I do not post anything, but here I am. When I say I completed this by the skin of my teeth, I mean literally like a half hour ago. I finished Clap When You Land. So,
Hey, yo, but like on the low, wasn't all of our like last video low key the announcement video?
yeah.
I'm just saying, like we're all in this together. Is the truth.
No, I think Britt's the only one that did like something.
Oh no, I did another announcement video. I did another announcement video.
Is this the last thing I did?
Here we are.
Here we are. You know, I'm gonna count my Friday sprints. So,
We count sprints. We done all done some sprints.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. We're active.
We got it.
Go ahead, Dave.
Go ahead.
Say your piece.
That was it, y'all. That was it. I don't post very often. Here I am.
Pat said, I is here laughing from before. We love you, Pat. For those of y'all who are new here, Pat is she is the ride or die supporter. She is over across the pond in Great Britain, and she don't miss a string for nobody. not a near person on this stream that she missed one for. And it is. It's already March 1st for her over there. She in the future, y'all. Cute. Okay, y'all. So all the ladies in the screen know this month has been like hell for me, right? So this lovely lady. Oh, hold on. I'm gonna switch with you real quick, Brit, so I can okay, here we go. I can point right. This lovely lady right here, y'all. She bought me a video game. Y'all, I've been playing a video game all weekend. I might be addicted to Dead by Daylight. Is the truth.
Oh, it's a good one to be addicted to if you ain't do that.
And is it addictive? No, I'm just competitive, is the truth. And I don't like that I don't know how to play yet. So I'm trying to learn real fast.
So when are you gonna be streaming it?
So we not. Okay. Hey, Black History Month. Woo, woo, woo. We woo. Nah, y'all not gonna watch me suck. That's not gonna happen. Y'all not gonna watch me suck. This is not gonna be a thing. Hi, Pup. It's so good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Pat said 4 beautiful queens. Hiya. We love you, Pat. We did make it. Monte, what's good, yo? All my Twitch friends, I appreciate y'all for being here. Hey, Kitty. So I've been playing Dead by Daylight with them all weekend. Y'all, it has been fun. It has been fun. Now, did I wake up this morning and play and get 2 pips and then play all day just to get the 2 pips back and still lost one? Sure did.
When you streaming though?
What? Okay. Ask me again on camera. Why don't you? Why don't you ask me again on
camera? Get removed from stream.
Right? We've been to pop her out real quick for a second. Time out, madam. Echo in the house showing love. Okay, y'all. So for those of you guys who don't know, we have just been participating in the Missy Elliott Readathon, and this year's theme was Super Duper Fly Reads, in which we picked 7 prompts based off of tracks from her debut album. Now, we had 2 group reads. Now, I only have the physical copy of one. And see, come on, Alley-oop Day. And clap when you land. And this is what we have been reading for the past month. Now, truth moment. Of the 4 co-hosts who finished both books, Dejana for the win. Dejana for the win. I just want you to know, grand prize winner. I don't know what I'm gonna get you, but grand prize winner, because girl, miracles happen once in a while is the truth. Because
started on the 1st. I did. Did I finish it yesterday? I did. Just saying.
Man, no, Africa Risen is thick. Africa Risen is thick. We
An 18-hour audiobook is not to be played with.
Yeah, nah, it's definitely thick. We're definitely gonna have a calculating of audiobook hours for next year's group reads. We're definitely gonna have a conversation about it. Because I didn't think it was gonna be that bad. I was like,
we didn't think it through. We were like, oh, it's cute. Look at that cover. Yes.
And the cover is giving. That cover is gorgeous. So like,
and Cherie A. Thomas. That was the other.
Absolutely. Yeah. I was like, no, she's that girl. We have to.
We weren't bamboozled by the cover, because of the stories I read, even the ones that I was like, yeah, I mean, that was a choice you made with the words you wrote. I still was like, I'm not mad I'm reading this. I'm not upset. I don't feel like I wasted my time. And I'm proud of that. Shout out to those authors. Okay, so which one y'all want to discuss first? Did we all finish Clap When You Land? Or most of us finish Clap When You Land?
I cried on the interstate, so yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Britt, how you feel? Because it looked like you were saying you hadn't finished yet, right?
Yes, but here's the truth.
Okay, we're listening.
Do I really have the bandwidth right now to read outside of my comfort zone? No. What I said last Friday was true. I just told them I need an assistant. I don't have one. And so I've been doing a lot of comfort reading. Am I rereading The Rage of Dragons for the 3rd time? Yes, because I need familiar things. So all of that is to say, I started physical reading it, audio reading it. like an hour ago. Well, not started, continued from last sprint.
Mm-hmm.
When will I actually finish it? We don't know, because now I no longer have the pressure of Missy Elliott to push me on, and that didn't work anyway. So y'all can spoil away. Do not save yourselves for me. Just press through.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna read it in my own time, regardless.
That carrot's dangling, but I ain't gonna take it. I ain't gonna take it.
I wasn't either. I
Wait.
wasn't gonna say not a dang word. I was
What's
like,
the carrot?
okay, come on. You're
What?
childish. This is why I don't.
Let's just move on.
This is why I
Let's
don't
just
play
move
with
on.
Wait a minute.
Look at Zay eating that popcorn.
I came prepared, y'all. I came prepared.
No, wait a minute.
I love it. Okay.
No. See,
I
why
love
am
you.
I always the butt of the joke?
Let me just break it down for you since you making me do this. This is your fault. I want you to know this is your fault. We was trying to move right on, but this is your fault.
I need to understand.
You stay. You be spoiling us. Spoiling us. Let me look into your eyes. Spoiling
Are you talking to me?
Britt Ryderly. 1 of 4.
Not my YouTube government name.
Listen, I know that you know English syntax very well. The AAB, he hits you right there. So you be spoiling us. You
Not
stay.
my variant B. What have I
Spoiling us.
done? Now, listen.
Do we need to run the clips back? I know you're not brand new. Let's just move on. This is your fault.
Did you and Shay really just start acting up because I said that y'all?
Whoa, what did I do? Literally,
You had a whole connection over there. Everyone saw.
My business. Legitimately, all I've done is sit here and drink water and mind my business. I don't even know why my name got brought into that.
You were having a full connection, and they also with the popcorn. Really? There was a full-on just trifecta of reaction. And I don't get it because I said spoil away. Y'all acting like I was like, now don't be over here spoiling stuff for me.
No,
Then I would
was
get
the way that you gave us a whole dissertation and tell us that we could spoil when we was already gonna spoil.
I didn't feel like a dissertation, maybe a master's thesis or something.
Don't you still gotta give a dissertation sometimes?
It was at least a hypothesis.
I don't know. I just felt very ganged up upon.
We love you.
You guys are hilarious.
It's with love. It's with love.
What I'm actually mad about is neither Shay's connection nor Deidre not calling me out.
It's legit.
It's really the
popcorn.
It's really the popcorn.
I knew it was the like. Yo,
it's really the fact that you have a whole crop with you right now, based off of an anticipation of this or some other moment.
I had it because I wanted a snack.
It's the timing for me.
It's the timing. Because now I'm feeling a little.
Like, but are you gonna share or not? Because like obviously something else is going on here.
I have to say I'm feeling a little bit triggered. Because this is feeling like when you and Bree that were acting like my red lip gloss wasn't clear, or was clear, or was that also?
Ma'am, do not. I'm finna leave the studio. Do not.
That's what it's taking me back to.
Do you still have that red lip gloss?
I do have my red lip gloss.
Would you please be so kind?
Okay, no, because here's the thing though. There are some like blackity black people in the chat. So if you go get it and you put it on, and we put a poll in the chat to ask, do you want your?
Are you ready? Are you ready to accept the result?
Like,
are you ready to accept the result?
Here's the truth. I'm not perfectly sure where it is right now.
Okay.
I'll be back.
I care about you enough to like let you think that through before we do that. That's all I'm saying.
It's red. Okay. It's fully red. The whole little tube.
I believe that the bottle of the tube is red. It's just
you were never a believer. No, because I'm running out and now I can see through. So it was the material that was red. Okay. Vina. Treachery.
It's fine. So we're gonna talk about the book because we came here for 15 minutes in. Let's go. So for those of you guys who don't know, clap when you land. I'll read y'all, and then we'll get into chit chatting about it. Okay. Camino Rios lives for the summers when her father visits her in the Dominican Republic. Hey yo, stop being disrespectful. Act like you was raised better. Thank you. But this year, on the day when his plane is supposed to land, Camino arrives at the airport to see crowds of crying people. In New York City, Yahaira Rios is called to the principal's office where her mother is waiting to tell her that her father, her hero, has died in a plane crash. Separated by distance and Poppy's secrets, the two girls are forced to face a new reality in which their father is dead and their lives are forever altered. And then, when it seems like they've lost everything, they learn of each other. Poppy's death uncovers all the painful truths he kept hidden and the love he divided across an ocean. And now Yahaira and Camino are both left to grapple with what a new sister means to them and what it will take to keep their dreams alive. In a novel in verse that blends with both grief and love, award-winning and best-selling author Elizabeth Acevedo writes about the devastation of loss, the difficulty of forgiveness, and the bittersweet bonds that shape our lives. Y'all.
Why were you laughing when you read it at first, though?
Yeah,
I was laughing. Did you not hear what I said to Cleo?
No.
Act like he was raised better?
Yeah, that's what made me
Oh, I
laugh.
didn't know that's why you were chuckling. Because I was like, is she reading about a plane crash right now?
No,
it was a delayed giggle, so I was like,
me and Day were like, what's happening?
I missed it. I can't even come to bat for you, sis. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Well, no, I was not giggling about a plane crash. Oh my God. Ugh. Goodness gracious, madam. I was giggling about my dog. Okay.
People in the chat may have been curious also. I am acting as their proxy.
Okay. You're right. Other people in the chat might have thought that I was.
And now they know that you're a good person, honest and true. Go on.
Okay. So, initial thoughts of the book. Let's go.
Do we want to do like a out of 5-star rating? Like what?
Oh,
what?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. For me, I gave it a 4, like on Goodreads, but it would probably be like a 4.5.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot give it a 5-star because 1, I don't really read these kind of like books usually. And 2, I really, really, really hated the dad, which I think is a personal thing, like with my own personal, like my upbringing and whatever. I really dislike the dad, but he's like the proverbial glue that ties literally the entire story together. So I wish there was less about him, and I wish that there was more of the girls together. I feel like that would have probably bumped it up to a 5-star for me.
All right, so boom. I don't mess with the dad. I don't mess with him. But, and I'm going to say this too. I found myself feeling some type of way about the way the daughter was reacting. I'm also forgetting the setting. The daughter in
Which
the
one?
DR?
The one in New York or in the Dominican Republic?
In the DR.
Camino, yeah.
Yes, I found myself feeling some type of way about her reaction to the sister. I don't know why, but I did.
I didn't like that.
No, I didn't either.
Oh no,
I didn't either.
I mean, I get feeling some type of way about your dad having a second family, but it was, I don't know. I don't know. But I really loved the way the story was, like it unfolded. I loved that. I loved the way Acevedo described the setting, and I also really liked that there was 2 different narrators for the different sisters. I enjoyed that a lot. I gave it 5 stars.
Well, y'all know me, Elizabeth Acevedo can do nothing wrong in my eyes, so it's obviously a 5-star reread for me. I on the reread, the things that I loved were I was loving every nod to Blackness that I could point out on the reread. Like I was loving that the conversation about Nina Simone being in Dre's earphones and when she listens to Nina and why she listens to Nina. I loved the nod about libraries, like, oh, this book I checked out from the library, just the nods to reading being fundamental and important, just the little tidbits of things that it's like, as a writer, I understand the intentionality of putting every single one of these things into your story. And I could appreciate them so much more now that I've been writing for the 4 years we've been doing this YouTube thing going on now, compared to when I read it in the first couple months I started my YouTube journey. So I love that. I also I like the way in which I felt like I didn't feel like the second narrator wasn't reading her own poems, if that makes sense. Like she read them in such a way that it felt like they still could have been her words, and I like that there wasn't that distance between it on the reread. So that was it. Britt, for what you got in it, thoughts?
Yeah, she was totally in character. She was definitely like a voice actor, not a author in that moment. I think that was that's what completed that. I love Elizabeth Acevedo. I found her on YouTube before I knew that she wrote her own books, and maybe I found her before her first book even came out. So when I rediscovered her as an author, I was like, oh, that's cool. That's super cool. And I've always loved, even reading The Poet X. I just love, first of all, I just love her voice. Like she has such a beautiful melodic voice. Love it. And then just the way that she describes things, like I love that it never feels like she's checking off a list of things that make her Afro-Dominican, Afro-Latina. Like it's just there. Like the Spanish is just interwoven, talking about different touch points of the culture are just there. And it's just how she's describing, honestly, the experiences of her characters, and not like checkboxing things that one would expect to see. I also just passed the part where Camino is braiding her friend's hair, the friend that's pregnant. And just, I love the way that things just sort of like, this motion is the best way that I can, like braiding, like her writing is like braiding. Like she just plats these things together and they seem insignificant as individual strands, and then she flips them over this other thing, and it's like, oh, this is becoming something. And then when she ends, it's really beautiful and functional. And I love that part about her writing. So when she's talking about braiding her friend's hair and talking about like, oh, I'm just braiding my friend's hair, but then it's, oh, I'm braiding her, like I'm parenting her, like she has two parents, like I had. Like I love the way that things just come back up, which is honest, because like when you're grieving, it's not necessarily the only thing you're thinking about, but it's also like ever present. And so I just like the way that her writing sort of mimics the effect of whatever the theme that she's carrying through. I love the effect of her writing always, even if I struggle to complete the book. It's not because of her as a writer, it's just because I don't really read contemporary fiction. I always struggle. I can never make it. I don't know the last time that I made it through a contemporary fiction book. I start them and I get like halfway through, and then I take a break for a day, and then a month passes. But I always enjoy my time with Elizabeth Acevedo, such as it is.
I definitely feel you on contemporary like fiction, just like not related to the book, but I just feel like it hits different. And like for me personally, like I don't know, like the whole situation with the dad, like I at one point I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna read this book, because I was like, it's not for me.
Do you think if it was a bad dad and fantasy that you would have been able to finish it? Like, is it something about the contemporary that makes the elements seem more real and more like
I think
pressing?
it's real life setting, like it's a real, potentially real like situation that I've kind of brushed upon. Like it's too real. If it was a fantasy setting, whatever, like whatever, you're not real. But I don't know, contemporary fiction in general is, I usually have that same kind of like, you just kind of bump up against it, try, and then you kind of drift off.
Yeah, I'm a fantasy girl too, but I can, if I get in the mood to read something other than fantasy, I can usually make it. And this one had a little sprinkle of some magical realism in it, you know, a little, Salt Bay with the with it, but it was close to the end before we really got.
Yeah. Let me see. I think kind of going along with what I was saying earlier, but with what Britt was saying about the like braiding in, like specifically even that scene or when when her friend is giving birth and she speaks to being like her family being nervous about her giving birth because she's a Haitian living in the Dominican Republic. Like that's Elizabeth being intentional about making sure that she's acknowledging these truths about this place, and she's not, and I think one, it goes back to conversations we have all the time, whether I'm with Deidre, Day, or Britt, but about what it is that we're writing and what we want to be sure that we're telling a story about. And when I read the book the first time, I didn't catch that because I wasn't looking for that, right? I wasn't looking for the ways in which authors are intentional. So I didn't even realize that it was like, oh wait, she specifically made mention of her friend being Haitian and her friend's dad speaking Creole, and that in this moment, that's important, specifically in Dominican Republic, knowing the way Haiti and DR, can be, towards each other. And so I loved getting to see that. I think I felt differently about the dad situation, but I've never known life without half siblings. So like I came into being as a half sibling, so it's kind of been a situation I've like been through and also understand. Like I understand you make up in your head what the siblings that live with your parent is like, and then you come to realize like it really isn't all of that once you get to start having actual conversations about things. And so I remember reading it originally and then on the rereading just appreciating that there are kids in this generation that have the ability to read stories like this, to know that they're not alone, right? Like in most of the stories that I read growing up, like you had step siblings, you didn't have half siblings. You didn't have to deal with stories where parents lied or parents were dishonest, and there are things that you have to, contend with that go with that, right? Like, and so I just appreciated the diversity that having this story puts out into the contemporary world for me. Let's see. Venus said I didn't get to Africa Risen because of none of the libraries had the audio. Got you. I don't know. Are you talking about me or are you talking about this? Because if you're talking about this, but I mean, anyways, Venus said living around a lot of Dominicans that the dad situation is kind of like a running joke with the dad having a family back in DR. Yeah, no. And I know that it's that way with a lot of the people that I've met with families in the Caribbean. Like it's a running joke that there's a family here and a family back there.
Just kind of like with what you're saying, I do definitely agree, like relating to the dad and like the concept of half siblings, because you are right, like a lot of times it is step siblings in fiction. And like I definitely like I also have, there's 8 of us and I only have one full sibling, the rest are all half. I think the part that irked me was the infidelity, like the way that it was gone about. Like he married one and then he married the next one a couple months later, and then the kids are born literally months apart, and I was like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, nah, he definitely has some project twins.
Yeah, I was like,
and he knew both of them, like he knew they were friends,
and they were friends. Like the whole situation was like, y'all are just.
I was kind of like coasting. I'm like, okay, whatever, sure.
I would love a book from the parents' perspective.
Yeah, the part
I would love a book.
The part where like the mom is talking to Yahira,
Yahira.
and she basically says like the dad told her mom was a project, like a high star that he wanted to reach but didn't really care about, and the other girl's mom is the chick that he actually loved and wanted to be with. Once that part hit, I was like, oh no, like that's a different if he loved both of them and he can't be here and whatever. But like once they said that, I was like, oh, I'm kind of done with that part of the situation. Just turned me off of the whole thing. Because that's true infidelity. That's not like, I don't know. This is different to me.
That's not like a drunk night slip and fall situation. That's like a choice, a bunch of choices, back to back to back to back in paperwork. So yeah.
But other than that, I liked it, and I thought the mom was very graceful. I know, like, she denied taking Camino for years, but like I thought when they actually met, she was really graceful. I like that she greeted her, and I don't know,
because I can't imagine that it was easy. Like, I know why you're leaving every time you leave.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, nah, you do what you got to do and do what you do, and like, right? Because I feel like at a point, like, the other thing that I think about, which is why I said I would love a book from the like adult perspective, is because like I forget what age Camino was when her mother died.
I think she was young.
Yeah, it's like she was super, super young.
She was like 8 or 9, I think.
So even by the time that you might have even been ready to be like, okay, I need to do this, like she's gone, right? Obviously, the conversation has been multiple times. The only reason you as a man are in America is this second wife or first wife, because she's the first wife and the daughter in the Dominican Republic is the first daughter, right? Which is part of that conversation too. And so I just think there is so much to be said about one, trying to get out of poverty and feeling like you have to do whatever you have to do to get out of it. And then two, feeling like this person has put up with enough. I can't go back to this person anyways because they're gone. I can't leave her and my daughter here either because she didn't do anything wrong. I'm the one, you know what I mean? There's just so many different things that I think I would love an adult perspective on the book, right? Because like you make decisions when you're young and dumb, and then you have to deal with the consequences. And what does that look like? Do you destroy both families? Like how do you do that? You know what I mean?
And even like the thought that the mom refuses to go back to the DR because
she will never go back.
He's ruined this for her. Like it's her home where she came from, and he married one of her great friends, had a kid with her after he was already married to her. Like and because her family warned her against him, she still did it. And now she's like, she won't go back. And that to me is crazy. Like this is your home, and you've got
right.
this view of it that's like it's totally solid.
It's the Tyra Banks scene. I was rooting for you. She like went against her dad, her brother, auntie,
right.
married this dude that they knew was trash and essentially, and he still did what he did, and I would like to fight. I would like to fight him. I don't know, but what you said, Shay, about the by any means necessary. I mean, he used her, but I think he also loved her, the lady.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think there wasn't any love there. I just think the levels of love were different, right?
Like different levels, right?
The situation, like you love them both, but there's the one that you wanted, and there's the one that you got.
You had an opportunity and you took it, and the consequences are terrible.
Which is crazy to me because maybe y'all tell me if she ever actually says like why she stayed with him, because I can't imagine unless he was bankrolling their life in the U.S. and she felt like she needed to stay with him.
Care of the house, like it wasn't like they were like struggling for stuff. Like he was taking care of their house and there, so it's probably like if this house don't fall, right? If this house don't fall,
they did say though that to get Camino into the U.S., it was based on the mom's funds and job. Because to get the visa or whatever is based on
like her family worked at the embassy or whatever, was able to push paperwork through, like a cousin or something. I forget, but
so she had to hook up.
Because her family had influence, like political influence. I think that's why they had so much to say about who she was gonna marry. If I'm not mistaken, that's why the cousins working in the embassy and stuff like that. So it was like, I went against my family.
Right,
because I thinking that you were stand up guy.
Yeah, and for him to do that with a really good friend, for you to ruin my entire will to go home.
Yeah,
maybe also she was like, I've already risked it all for you. I'm not letting you go.
Right. No, that's what I said. Definitely. Like it's like as long as this house don't fall, you can't do anything for this house to fall. You're not bringing her here. You're not moving there.
Right.
Like,
and you're going to keep supporting us also. I don't care if I have money.
That is in the end how she punishes him, right? Because he can't bring
his other daughter here
without her. And she says no. So that is his punishment, is she can't come to the US.
Which is a hard thing, but also like, I get it. You're not about to flaunt the evidence of your infidelity in front of me. As long as she has family there.
When they say she has grace, right? Because I mean, granted, I feel like I would do it on the fact that dang, both of this girl's parents is dead. I feel like I suck it up too, but still, it still takes a lot to be willing to suck it up.
Yeah,
because you have to look at this. So it was like.
Also, I love the point that was just made about colorism.
Yeah, there's a lot of colorism in the culture, and the mom was lighter and from a good family, so that was part of the reason her family. Right, because that's a big part of the conversation with Yahira, because Yahira is dark skinned because she comes out like her father, and specifically like the section in which she talks about her skin color and how she sees herself and her dad. I was just like, this is why I love Elizabeth. She's not going to let a conversation not be had. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Go ahead. I was just going to say, she even like uses the two sisters to compare each other, because Yahira calls her Yahira Light because she's comparing herself and whatever. It's just a very interesting like dynamic of.
Which I thought was funny when like Camino tries to use, hold on. When she tries to use the passport, I was like, how, girl? How, girl? How? Because like these are not Caucasian people like that at the airport. You're in the Dominican Republic. They still look like y'all a little bit. You don't think they're gonna tell y'all apart? Okay. That was my thought in that moment. I was like, that's funny.
Brit has to go.
Okay, yeah. Bye.
What?
Bye. Okay, so Vina was saying true. My mom was in a similar situation with her parents, and her dad lived in the US. Bree says colorism mentions the books were so good. I thought about how I'm dark skinned and my sister is older. I also thought how my dad is a Rolling Stone. Yeah. So like in my siblings, right? Like my older brothers are lighter than me and my younger siblings. Me and my younger siblings all have the same parents. Me and my older brothers all have the same dad. But funny enough, though, my dad likes dark-skinned women because both of our moms are like the same shade of chocolate. So it just happened how it happened. But I feel like I like the conversation because as a kid, I do remember like feeling away because in my family, like we were just on the darker side of everybody. Like on my mom's side, on my dad's side, we were just always the darker ones. And just in books, at least from my perspective growing up, the books that dealt with race dealt with racism. They didn't deal with colorism. So if somebody was talking, the only book I saw that dealt with colorism was Color Me Dark. And it said in 1919 is two sisters and they're like 11 months apart. And one is very dark and one is very light skinned. And that's the only book I ever read as a child that dealt with colorism. So like reading this and seeing it in like a contemporary light was just like, I like this. I like how it's being handled.
And I like that it wasn't like totally villainized. Like,
no, at all.
It made both like the lighter sister and the darker sister seem beautiful. Because I've heard so many things like over my lifetime that like make you feel like crap, and or like you just like you get in your head and you're like, something is wrong with me, but it's like, no, it's not. Everybody looks beautiful. It's fine.
No, for sure, for sure. The Vanishing Half. Oh yeah, I still have that on there. My sister is light skin. Yeah, no, I know what you were saying. My mom's dad's wife didn't want to send for my mom. No, I totally get that. The passport thing did not make sense. That's what I said. I was like, girl, that's how you know you young. You just really like living on a prayer trying to get out of the Dominican Republic right now because golly. So I liked the conversation around grooming that happened. And trafficking and with El Cerro in the book. I like that was a conversation. Obviously don't like that character, don't like that that's happening, but like that it's being addressed because again, you know, we've talked about and plenty of times just how trafficking doesn't look like what everyone thinks it looks like. It looks like somebody offering you a helping hand when you need it more than anything else. Like consistently throughout the book, he's just, you know, I can be a friend to you, you know, I can help you, you know, you don't have to do it all by yourself. And right, and when you've been doing it all by yourself, nobody wants to continue to do it all by yourself. And that's how, you know, young girls get caught up in trap. So I just liked that it was a conversation. I also liked that there was a conversation about the ways in which not just Black parents, but parents in general can adultify their children. So in the scene where her aunt was like, I raised you better than this, right? Didn't I, girl? Like the aunt automatically assumed that it was her. And so many times in conversation that we see on Twitter, it's like, oh, Black people are the only ones who call girls fast. No, we're not the only ones. Everyone has a version of this in some capacity that they do this with. And it's a conversation that needs to be had. Everyone needs to stop adultifying children, period. Right? So yeah.
Agreed. I was waiting for the hitman at the end, but yeah.
No. He need to die.
I wanted blood.
Yeah, he needs to
die. When the machete came out, my dad, he's hilarious. My dad's Jamaican, and he keeps a machete under his couch and under his bed. And whenever he's mad, obviously, like, he's never used this on anybody, but he just pulls that sucker out, just holds it. And that's literally all I could think of with my dad holding his machete.
That's funny.
I'm like, I'm dead. I'm like, go use it, please. And she's like, it, and I'm like, my dad does
that. Them island people.
Yeah.
Is this them? They do not play, boy. They do not play. I just remember the passport thing. Grooming will forever piss me off for real. This book was very real. Also, people in poverty sometimes do what they have to do. No, that's exactly what I said. It's exactly what I said. Like, some of this is right. Like, it's like not even coming from like a judging standpoint, but like, again, I talk about this all the time. Just the older you get, the easier it is to objectively look at situations and see like all the factors that make them possible. I hope you're. Oh yeah. Okay, Day. Nothing's wrong with you, love. Right? Exactly. Oh, are you a little bit behind us? Is that what it is?
I think she probably. You talking about Bree?
Yeah.
I think she probably like went back to see about
the lip gloss. Got you.
And then.
I made my own offline bestie read it, and we had a good discussion. Yay, that's awesome. Okay, so do we have any more thoughts on this before we go to the next one? Because I realized we ain't talked about the next one yet, and we've been on 44 minutes.
How long we been on here? Oh, okay. No, I think I've said what I came here to say. It was really good. I'm very glad this was a group book because I probably wouldn't have. I had it on my TBR, but I probably wouldn't have picked it up anytime soon.
Nah, that's part of the reason why I put it on there because I know all three of y'all, and it definitely wouldn't have got read. Like,
yeah,
if it would have been a while from now. So. Okay,
Yeah.
I had some like feelings and whatnot, but like
No, I totally get it. I totally get it. And I when you were talking, I was like, I'm gonna text her because I was like, I hope it wasn't like triggering because I didn't even think like, dang, this might be a thing like that. So definitely apologize if it was something like that because I didn't even think about that in there. I just was like, yo, because what I love about Elizabeth, the two things you are guaranteed to get is a good Black family and good Black female friendships. So you got that with Dre and her family and her parents and how they were open and honest and could talk and it was nothing about it. You got good friendships seeing Dre and Yahira and seeing Camino, and I can't remember her friend's name, but seeing them together. And those are things that she's gonna give you every single book. And I am just thankful that she's doing that because y'all know how many books we've read where they don't have no friends, let alone no Black friends. Like, you know what I mean? So I think that. I'm thankful for that. Okay. Oh, you gotta go teach and read the next book. I mean, quiet as it's kept, girl. Right.
We didn't finish, but okay.
The machete thing, you have to be ready for anything. And yes, it's an island thing. I know. When I've only been to St. Thomas, and I know. Y'all. Whew. Yeah. Fun times. Okay. So, would you mind showing the book again, Miss Dejana, please? Africa Risen. Okay, so as we know, I didn't finish all the stories in there. I'm not gonna hold you though. I thought the first two were great ways to start the book. I will say that like I appreciated the order for the ones that I did get to read. I think they did a good job of like good, and good. Oh, this is okay. Oh, this is bad. Good job of like staggering them. So like if you did get frustrated by a story, you had another one that was at least like it wasn't two bad ones back to back. It was like a mediocre, a bad one, and then a good one. Like, does that make sense? What I'm saying?
No, yeah, I just feel like for 18 hours they could have got rid of the bad ones. I'm sorry. Right? I'm out.
For real. Yeah. Venus said yes. Everyone in my fam has a machete ready. See, it's a thing. I liked Mama March. And I think the part that drew me in originally was the AAVE, like the way in which she spoke and told the story, especially when the like dudes come out the car and they like talking and they like, you sure did it? She said that word that y'all know I love to say, but we don't say on YouTube. I was like, okay, grandma, okay, all right now. I loved it, like just the way she gathered them together and whatnot. And then she was like, I mean, he cute, or maybe it's that long since I seen a man. I was like, okay, let me find out. I just like the way that it came together. Y'all go on the story y'all like.
You go next.
This way. What'd you say? Okay, you want me to go first? Okay, so I am, I think, on the 11th story because I stopped writing notes after A Dream of Electric Mothers. Yeah, because I didn't like the one before that. I was like, couldn't even remember anything about them. Anyway, the ones I like, that was the question. So I like the one I'm currently on, which is Housewoman for a Lion Goddess. I can't read the author's name because it's not on my screen. It's really good, but I am having to reread sections because it's playing with like memories in a little bit of time, kind of. It's really interesting. I like that one, and I'm going to skip next to the one that Tanana Reed wrote called Ghost Ship. I'm hoping I'll like that because I have had mixed experiences with her work. So I'm not sure if it's just her style that I don't like or if it's a timing thing, like I haven't been in the mood for her style. I'm not sure. So I'm going to skip to that one because it's short. It's the shortest thing that I know of hers, except for a comic book. So yeah, I'm going to do that.
The one that Deidre's reading right now, Housewarming for a Lion Goddess, is the first one that I like starred. So like I really like that one. I liked that so much. So many of the stories involve cooking. I cannot cook for the life of me, but like I love reading about cooking, different types of food that I want to try. Anyways, so I like that one a lot. It was very interesting, like look at like trust. Can you trust people and like cycles? Is a new person gonna do the same thing that the last person did to you? Is it there you're blaming the new person for what the last person did and whatever? Anyways, I also really liked The Carving of War. I think that's like probably my top one. The story ended and I was like, no way. The lady, wait, you guys haven't read it, right? Neither did you?
No, you keep going. You keep going. Okay. I'm not tripping.
Basically, like this lady escapes from her destiny and has a baby, and her mom draws her back to the village and turns her into the snake, a snake that she killed. And I'm explaining this really badly, but the daughter was just like, "This is not the last you're gonna see of me," and then it was done, and I was like, "Yes." That was phenomenal. I loved it. Turn her into a snake and she said, "I'm gonna bite you." That's what she said, and I loved it. I loved it. Yeah, it was great. Like if you read any of them, read that one.
Okay.
And then one more, The Lady of the Yellow Painted Library. If you want to be scared of a librarian, because they are scary and your books are overdue. There you go. It was great. I loved it.
Funny.
I loved it. You go, Shay.
Okay, hold on. I'm doing something real quick in the comments. My bad, y'all.
You're good.
There's an Uno game going on in the background. That's why I'm muted, y'all.
There's an Uno game going on? Oh my goodness.
Okay, well, while she's doing her thing, I also had one more start. I started 4 stories.
Okay.
The fourth one is The Taloned Beast. And I was really sad reading it because it was like basically a gay man is discovered by his father.
Okay.
And ends up being sent to live with his uncle who abuses him. And his uncle has a housekeeper who is magic of some kind. And while he's being abused, their relationship gets better. And in the end, he helps her escape from the house that she's stuck in. She turns into a dragon and burns the whole thing down. And I said,
yeah, it turned into the dragon for me. It's really the turns into the dragon for me.
Yeah. So that one was phenomenal as well. I loved it.
Hi, Adrian. I really enjoyed majority of the stories. Okay, so Pat said, Africa Risen, what a book. I'm rereading it. I read it physically, so I wish I had the audio. I had to start, so they didn't get jumbled up into one another. I will say the audiobook is phenomenal. Like all the different narrators for the story, I am thoroughly enjoying the diversification of voices. It's making the accents richer. It's making the stories come alive in a very different way. If you do ever get the chance to listen to the audiobook, Pat, I really think you should. Adrian said, I really enjoyed majority of the stories. Yay! I love that. So I like the futuristic nature of a lot of the stories, like the ways in which we got to see where people's mind are going for what the future is. The one that I remember you, Day, and Britt saying that y'all were like, what? With the dude acting like real disrespectful to his dad and then wanting to save his life and okay, the concept of how the world worked in that time frame was insane to me. But it was so like on par with how I see us like heading with how much things are done virtually versus like in actual person. It was kind of like scarily eye-opening to like think about like the real life implications of that story. I didn't like the kid at all. I didn't like the kid at all. I was like, yo, this is like, and like for him to be like, I know he literally had nothing to do with. I know he had nothing to do with it. I don't care. I'm still just gonna be mad at him and just be okay, dude, whatever. But to be a young and dumb kid, right?
It was the exact right story with the exact wrong character.
Right. Because it was a great story.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the audiobook, but want to get the physical to end and say, oh yeah, no, I definitely want to get the physical for sure. It's definitely one I want to add to my collection. Okay, y'all. We have any more thoughts or anything?
I was just gonna say, like, I do love the different narrators. I'm sorry about all the background, but I do love the different narrators. However, it does, like, when some of the narrators' voices I don't necessarily vibe with, it does make me want to go and read the physical story instead. And I think that's another thing that slowed me down, is I bought the ebook. And then my library came in with the hold of the audiobooks. I was like, yes. But then some of the narrators I really just didn't vibe with. So, but I do like that there's a different narrator for every story so that whoever it is doesn't have to try so hard to be something different for each. And they won't bleed together so easily. So I am enjoying that.
Yeah, because I couldn't imagine having to try to narrate all those stories as a different person all the time. Nah.
Right, different tones of the stories, like jump tones. Sometimes one is a little bit more darker or a little bit dark. Another one's a little bit more humorous, you know. It'd be really hard for one narrator to pull that off.
I do think it just made it so, like, you have to be kind of, I don't want to say intentional. I feel like that's the wrong word. But, like, you have to think a little bit more about your reading or listening experience, because, like, I found that there were a couple times when the accent changed. And so my, like, the amount of attention that I had to pay to either the audio or the book changed.
Yeah.
Like, I think there was one in particular, like something about a driver, the Hanfo driver. I enjoyed it. Like, the story was fine, but I had a hard time with the narrator. So, like, I had to spend more time in the actual book. So just, like, which is fine, but just you have to, like, it's not the same audio experience for each story. So you can't, like.
Oh, no, yeah, you definitely have to know some people are better at their jobs than others.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are more suited for their stories than other people, for sure. Like, that's why I think I like the Mama March one, that one so much, because I think she was the perfect narrator for that story. Like, she sounded like somebody, tree grandma. Like, she sounded like that. Like, she sounded like if Pocahontas had, like, Black people in it and she was Grandmother Willow, like, that's totally who I heard. Totally.
And see, I read the first 7 or 8. I read them. I didn't listen to audiobooks, so I didn't hear them.
You should totally listen to that one. That narrator was really, really good.
Mm.
Okay, y'all. So we are about to get out of here, but there is a giveaway. Now I'm showing the shirt. This is the shirt you're gonna get because it's the one that came through the made a mistake. But it was for the person who technically ended up with the most comments, which oddly enough isn't in here anymore. That person ended up being Bree. Because she put in there. So you get your read on Missy Elliott t-shirt, So I'll be sending it your way. Want to thank you guys so much, Britt, for being here. You know you're out and about right now, but thank you so much for being here. I want to thank my lovely co-host. Could not have made it through this month without y'all. Y'all know it was a doozy. Appreciate everyone who participated, everyone who made a video, everyone who shared, everyone who posted on Instagram, on Twitter. Y'all are all amazing. Thank y'all for watching now, whether you're watching now or on the replay. Do my co-hosts have any announcements before we get out of here?
I'll be streaming sometime, but I don't know when. See you around.
All right. Well, we love y'all. Y'all have a great rest of your day. Remember to read Black 365. We love y'all.